In the often predictable halls of the African Union, where speeches usually follow a familiar rhythm of policy statements and diplomatic reassurances, something unfolded that shattered the silence. It was not an announcement, nor a prepared agreement. It was a confrontation so raw, so unexpected, that it left seasoned statesmen unsettled and younger delegates electrified. The moment centered on South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and Burkina Faso's transitional leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. On one side stood a man who had been a cornerstone of the anti-apartheid struggle, a symbol of perseverance and negotiation. On the other stood a 36-year-old soldier, carrying the urgency of a new generation and willing to wait patiently for promises of freedom to materialize. Wearing his combat uniform in a room full of tailored suits, Traoré spoke with a force that broke through the politeness of the summit. He invoked Mandela's sacrifices, Steve Biko's blood, and the resilience of the ANC itself, then turned to Ramaphosa with words that silenced the room. Africa does not need managers for the West. Africa needs liberators. The impact was immediate. Some gasped, others looked away, unsure how to react. But the weight of the statement settled firmly on Ramaphosa. For a man who once embodied the spirit of liberation, to be told he had become a manager of Western interest was more than a political jab, it was a moral reckoning. Witnesses recalled the South African leader sitting in silence, his hands folded, before discreetly wiping tears from his eyes. That single gesture was enough to spark a storm. Within hours, the incident spread through private corridors, then exploded onto social media. Images of Ramaphosa's emotional moment circulated alongside clips of Traoré's fiery speech. Hashtags like #AfricaRising, #NoMoreChains, and #SankaraLives surged across African platforms. To some, Ramaphosa's tears symbolized guilt, perhaps even recognition of truths long ignored. To others, they showed weakness in the face of youthful defiance. Yet the deeper meaning went far beyond personalities. Traoré's challenge was not only directed at one man but at an entire political generation that, in the eyes of many, has failed to fulfill the mission of true independence. His words captured the frustration of millions who see their nations trapped in cycles of foreign aid, external debt, and dependency. Even decades after formal colonialism ended, in South Africa, reactions were mixed. Members of the ANC defended Ramaphosa, calling Traoré disrespectful and reckless. But critics of the ruling party pointed out that the outburst reflected a wider truth, that the liberation movement had lost its radical edge. Across the Sahel, however, the speech was hailed as a rebirth of defiance, echoing the spirit of Thomas Sankara and Patrice Lumumba. The question now is whether this confrontation will be remembered as a fleeting moment of drama, or as the spark of a deeper shift.